Okay, hi guys. So this is a video lesson on the natural roots of a quadratic equation. Okay, so we've already studied studied the quadratic formula where we have x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the binomial part or inside the radical sign, which is b squared minus 4ac, this is now what we call the discriminant. Okay? It is used to determine the nature of roots of a quadratic equation. Okay? So, let's take an example to identify the nature of roots of a quadratic equation. So, we have case number 1 where the discriminant is equal to 0. Okay, find the nature of roots or the discriminant value of x squared minus 12x plus 36 is equal to 0. Okay? First, we're going to identify the values of a, b, and c of the equation. So here, we know that a here is equal to 1, 12 is b is negative 12, and c is equal to 36. And after determining the value of the values of the numerical coefficients, we are now going to solve for the discriminant, where discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. And then you're going to substitute a is equal to 1, so b is equal to negative 12, then is squared, minus 4, a is equal to 1, then c is equal to 36. So negative 12 times negative 12 is equal to 144, then 4 times 36 is equal to 144. Therefore, the discriminant is equal to 0. Now, how do we identify or how do we determine the nature of roots when d is equal to 0? Okay? So, d is equal to 0. So, this is now the description. The nature of roots of this is 1, double root, and the roots are real and equal. Okay, to know this, we're going to find the solution set. Okay, i-investigate natin. If we have x squared minus 12x plus 36 is equal to 0. So we're going to get the roots by using any method. So the easiest way, if we can factor this, we use factoring because they are perfect trinomial factoring. So the factor of x squared minus 2x plus 36 is equal to 0 is equal to x minus 6 times x minus 6. So the solution sets are, so we have x is equal to 6, and here x is minus 6 is equal to 6, therefore x is equal to 6. So, ang sabi dito, when the discriminant is 0, it is a double root. Correct. Because 6 and 6, they are double. And the number of solution. So how many number of solution? Or the solution set? Only 1. So 1 number of solution. And the roots are real numbers and they are equal because 6 is equal to 6. So this is how to determine the nature of roots when the discriminant is equal to 0. And we take another example. Okay? We take another example. So if we have x squared minus 18x plus 81 is equal to 0. So the same, we're going to identify the value of a. So we have the value of b is 18, then c is equal to 81. And the next step is solve for the discriminant. And then substitute the value. We have negative 18, b, and for your a is 1, your c is 81. Then solve this algebraically. 18 times 18 is equal to 324 minus 4 times 81 is 324. Therefore, the discriminant is equal to 0. And how do we characterize how do you determine the roots? So the roots are, so how many solution? One solution, real, and equal. Okay, we are going to check by factoring. And what is the factor? Since it's a perfect trinomial factoring, we have x times 9 times x minus 9 is equal to 0. So therefore, x is equal to 9. Therefore, the solution set is 9. Therefore, one solution, real numbers, and they are equal. So this is how to determine when the discriminant is equal to 0. How about if the discriminant is not equal to 0? If the discriminant is greater than or less than 0. Okay, we take another example. So this is now case number 2. When the discriminant is greater than 0 and it's a perfect square. Okay, so if it's a perfect square. And then we take an example when D, okay, we take an example, find the discriminant value for the equation x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, the same, determine the value of A is equal to 1, B is equal to 5, then C is equal to 6. And determine now, solve for the discriminant, B squared minus 4AC, then substitute the value of B is 5 squared minus 4, your A is 1, your C is 6. So this is now equal to 5 squared is 25 minus 24. Therefore, the discriminant is equal to 1. So therefore, 1 is a perfect square because the square root of 1 is equal to 1. So the discriminant is more than or greater than 0 and the value is 1. And 1 is a perfect square. And how do we describe the roots? Since the discriminant value of the equation is greater than 0 and it's a perfect square, then, so this is now the description of the roots. 1. So 2 real roots. Another rational. And unequal. Okay, we investigate this description. So, the nature of roots will be, So, two real roots, rational, and unequal. Okay, so we factor x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, so we're going to check whether the roots are unequal and the roots are real numbers. So we factor, so the factor is x plus 2 times x plus 3. Why? Because the factor of 2 times, so when you multiply 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and when you add, which is equal now to the middle term, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Therefore, x plus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 2, and we have x plus 3 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 3. So therefore, what can you say about the roots? The roots are unequal, and we have two solutions. Okay. And they are real numbers. Real or rational numbers. Okay? So, balikan natin yung previous ito. So, these are now the description. So, we have the roots are rational numbers. Check. And they are not equal. Check. So, meron siyang two roots. Because we have here two roots, we have the result is negative 2 and negative 3. It's unequal. Two solutions and they are real numbers. Okay? How about the next example? Okay? So if we have 3x squared minus 10x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay? So, the discriminant equals to b squared minus 4ac. So, a is equal to 3, b is equal to negative 10, c is equal to 3, and then substitute negative 10 squared minus 4 times 3 times c is equal to 3. So, we have here 100 minus, so 9 times 4 is 36. Therefore, the discriminant is 64. So, the discriminant now is greater than 0 and it's a perfect square. 64 is a perfect square. So, therefore, what are the roots? They are two roots or two solutions, roots or solutions, real and unequal. Okay, so these are now the description of the nature of roots and the number of solutions. Okay, we investigate again. We check whether this is correct. Okay, so we factor 3x squared minus 10x plus 3 is equal to 0. So, i-factor natin. This is 3x. This is x. So, since this is 10, so ilalagay natin dito 3. This is 1. Since this is positive and negative ito, lahat po siya negative. Because we check, multiply negative x, multiply negative 9x. So, when we add, this is equal to negative 10. This is now your middle term. Middle term. Okay, the middle term. So, therefore, we get now the roots. X minus 1 equals 0. X is equal to transpose 1, negative, magiging positive. Then this is 3x. So, over 3, over 3. Therefore, x is equal to 1/3. And x minus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to positive 3. Therefore, we have now two solutions, 1/3 and 3, and they are unequal. Okay, so I hope you are learning and you can follow our lesson. Okay, so this is now when the discriminant is equal or not equal but greater than 0 and D is a perfect square. How about another case? This is case number 3 when D is greater than 0 and it's not a perfect square. Okay, so we take an example. If we have 2x squared minus 8x plus 3 is equal to 0, so therefore, first identify your A. Your A is equal to 2, B is equal to negative 8, C is equal to 3. Then, solve for the discriminant, B squared minus 4AC. And then we substitute the value of B is equal to negative 8 squared minus 4 times A is equal to 2. Your C is equal to 3. Therefore, this is equal to 64 minus 24. So therefore, 64 minus 24 is equal to 40. So therefore, D is greater than 0, but it's not a perfect square. Okay? It's not a perfect square. So therefore, what is now the description when the discriminant is greater than 0 and it's not a perfect square? Okay? So therefore, the roots of the given quadratic equations are 2 roots or 2 solutions, and that 2 solutions are irrational number. Irrational, and they are unequal. Okay? So we check whether it has 2 roots or 2 solutions and it's an irrational and they are unequal by using any method. Since the problem cannot be factored using factoring, you can factor that using the easiest way is by quadratic formula. Okay? So if we have now 2x squared minus 8x plus 3 is equal to 0, now we're going to solve this using quadratic formula. We have b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then again, identify your a, which is equal to 2, your b equals negative 8, and c is equal to 3. And substitute, since we have here negative, and b is equal to negative plus minus is square root of b squared is negative 8 squared minus 4. Your a is 1, your c is equal to 2. Okay, so we have a is equal to 2, c is equal to 3. Rather, eto pala. Okay, a is 2, b is equal to negative 8, c is equal to 3 over 2 times 2. Therefore, so this becomes now positive. And then, since this is a discriminant, we already solved this one. So the discriminant is equal to 40, no, over 4. Therefore, x is equal to 8 plus minus, since 40 is 4 times 10. So, square root of 4 is equal to 2. What remains in the radical sign is 10 over 4. Therefore, x is equal to 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. Positive, negative, we have square root of 10 over 2. So, this is now your solution. Therefore, this is an irrational numbers because of square root of 10, and they are unequal because one is positive and the other one is negative. 2 plus square root of 10 over 2, and you are not going to simplify or not going to cancel 2 here and the denominator 2. Okay, so this is how to identify or describe using or characterize the roots of the quadratic equation using discriminant. How about the next discriminant when d is equal to is equal to or less than 0. So we take an example, and this is case number 4. When d is less than 0. So, negative. Okay, less than 0. So, we have negative 1 and so on. The negative numbers. Okay, find the discriminant value of 2x squared plus x plus 3 is equal to 0. So, we are going to solve for the discriminant. So, b is equal to 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times 3. We have 1 minus, so we have 24. 1 minus 24 is negative 23. So therefore, the discriminant is less than 0 because it's negative 23. So therefore, two solutions, no solution because they are imaginary numbers or imaginary roots, no? Or no roots. No solution, no roots. Okay, i-check natin using quadratic formula. Okay, so we check 2a. So this is equal to negative. Your b is equal to negative 1. Or rather 1 plus minus square root of. So we already solved this one. This is not the discriminant. And we solve this. This is negative 23 over 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So therefore, your roots are negative 1 plus square root of negative 23 over 4. And the other root is negative 1 minus square root of negative 23 over 4. Therefore, we have here a negative square root of a negative number. So, this means if we have a square root, a negative number here, this is what we call the imaginary numbers. So, therefore, the roots are imaginary and no solutions. So, this is now how to describe or characterize the roots of a quadratic equation using the discriminant. So, I hope you understand at may nakuha po kayong concept on this video. So, thank you very much and good luck.